Sorry about this, guys, but the Switch ain't working that good anymore. So I'm gonna be holding it up for like a couple of minutes. You're not gonna see much of this, because the thing is in a bloody way. So you can't see the movie trailer, but you can look it up on YouTube.
This animated star. A boy who commands an entire universe from his own brain. Nemo's best friend is Icarus, a flying squirrel whose loyalty to his young master will lead him into another world. A world of fantastic flying machines, incredible architecture, and characters favorites of young and old.
See what I mean?
There's King Morpheus, who reigns peacefully over a land of pleasant dreams.
Welcome, my people. Welcome to this momentous occasion.
And Professor Genius, Nemo's mentor and guide to Slumberland.
Princess Camille is eagerly awaiting you.
Princess Camille, Nemo's special friend in the kingdom.
I want to show you all of Slumberland.
And then there's Flip, Nemo's mischief-making sidekick.
You got it. I'm frightfully funny, frightfully friendly, and I can make your dreams come true.
There are many other marvelous mystical characters in Slumberland. The Oompas who help Nemo learn the ways of Slumberland. Nemo's journey takes him to the treacherous land of nightmares. With the aid of the magical royal scepter, Nemo must free the king and his beloved princess from the terrifying Nightmare King and destroy the evils of Nightmare. Little Nemo will touch the hearts of children everywhere in the summer of 1992 with its nationwide U.S. theatrical release. Come join us for the ride of your life in the magical land of dreams with Little Nemo.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. This thing really doesn't want to stay on there. Okay. Oh my god. This connection ain't gonna work anymore. So you're not gonna see me play Luigi's Engine 3 on here anymore. This thing ain't gonna work. It worked for the PS4, so now it ain't gonna work for the Switch. I'm supposed to put it down gently? Let me see. Nope, that ain't gonna work. I'm trying to review a movie here, but it's not gonna let me do it. It's not gonna let me talk about this one. I like using the Switch better than the PS4, because the PS4 moves like molasses. Oh, there we go. I had to just do that. The cord's kind of in the way, but I don't care anymore. Okay. Now I can finally talk about it. Okay, I'm gonna get straight to the point. Let me talk a little history about... Oh, there I go, I just said the word little. Do a bit of history of this movie. Alright, first things first. Little Nemo story came out a long time ago. In 1911, which is already 100 freaking years ago now. 114 years. To be precisely. They correct it. If I know where the cover is at, I would know who created it. I would say it's supposed to be like the very first non-Disney movie of all time. I do have the VHS tape of it in here somewhere. Be right back. Kind of make it easy if I had to just leave the camera there for a moment. Oh wait, I can look it up on my phone. shoot. Okay, I'm gonna try to remember what the history about this thing is. It was gonna be created by Miyazaki himself, which had an early pilot in 1984, which is right here. This one's like 3 minutes of a creation. The other one was done by a different director. Icarus was gonna be like a pilot person. Sorry about the phone being so loud. Sorry, it's kind of like how they did this back then. Little Nemo was gonna be like a great opportunity to be a non-Disney movie of all time. It was gonna be a Ghibli film. First time I ever saw this movie as a kid was just well, release of it in 1992 on the VHS tape. It was gonna be like a mix to Fantasia mixed with other classic Disney movies back then. But real release was in 1989, the time the film was released at the very first non-Disney animated movie of all time. About a young boy named Nemo. And there's a place called Slumberland. And with his pet sidekick Icarus, which is the flying squirrel with the goggles. Like the narrator just explained it already. Yeah, that he'll protect Slumber land from the evil Nightmare King. And the king from Slumberland, which is King Morbius is his name, is a ruler in Slumberland. And gives Nemo the key to keep the door shut tight. And from keeping dark stuff out in Slumberland. Just give me a second. This phone is really slow. Damn it. Sorry it's taking so long. Now here it is. Here's the original tape. What it looks like. And the front cover looks pretty neat. That's gonna be a pretty great movie success back then. It has like famous voice actors. Flip was voiced by Nicky Rooney, R.I.P. for him. That he likes to cause trouble and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna show too much of the movie. You have to watch the movie for yourself. And yes, it has a video game created by Calgum. Remember me playing that game that one time? Yeah, those are the good times. Sort of speaking. Okay, not that Nemo. In a little history about this film, it was gonna be made in early time, but Disney and people in Japan had difficult time trying to make this movie have its release time. And even The Little Mermaid was already made at that timeline. It was shipped to the USA to August 21st, 1992. And the director's name is Azali Hatara William Ortiz, which is the Japanese director and the American one. There's like English, Japanese producers of Yokai Dojar Tuga. The other one is Maureen McDonald. And it is based on the comic book, how it all began a long time ago. But anyways, we check up on the voice cast members. Nemo's voiced by Gabriel Darman, which is the main hero of the story that lives in New York City and wants to have many adventures. Years in Slumber became the main antagonist of the story. So technically, he likes to have fun and he's a beautiful princess. As he teams up about the other characters. There's that surround him that he's the main antagonist. He used King Morpheus' staff weapon to take on nightmare or creatures and restore Slumberland to its rightful owner in King Morpheus. Actually, speaking of King Morpheus, I would say he's almost like a relation to the Sultan from Aladdin, and so that movie did not come out till like later timeline of November of that timeline. So basically, yes, I'm aware they're gonna do a video game off that one too. Just reboot it next year. King Morpheus likes to ride trains, and it's kind of like a mad child that time. And there's like the professor. I don't got much else to say about the professor. He's just a genius, smart guy. He's kind, gentle. He likes to help out Nemo and his friends and to restore Slumberland to its rightful place. And there's the princess.
Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland is an anime.
There's the princess. Hold on, I'm going to look on the phone right now. Arlene, voiced by Ora Woon Lee. She is kind of spoiled at times, but later on they become like close friends. And have a great time in Slumberland. She's basically like a beautiful princess. Later on in the movie, she becomes like a damsel in distress, and it's up to Nemo to save her. But sometimes she can be a bit tough all by herself. But no match against the Nightmare King. And there's these other creatures called the Blooms, who are 4 friendly creatures that can shape-shift into anything. And it does show the 5th one that's bigger than them. But you have to watch the movie for yourself to how it goes. Plus, I was not prepared for me to talk about like the entirety of the movie, so I will not give too much away if you want to watch the whole movie for yourself. I haven't played the video games. There's like the NES one, that's a classic, and but pretty hard. Most likely the arcade too. Um, on the original tape, they made like the movie like they cut out a few parts here just to make it like shall we say like most likely a half hour movie for the kids to watch it for like an hour 20 minutes. So they kind of like the animation part. They kind of cut out some scenes that were almost half as pointless as they seemed. And it does have some interesting songs, especially in Slumberland. But when they released this on DVD, it turned out to be like 100 minutes long just to watch the entire film, Adventures of Slumberland. And I find the movie interestingly good and bad about it. But people say it's like a complete failure movie of all time because it was not remembered that much to people back in the day that once they watch it, it's kind of forgotten since then that this movie was released on DVD and Blu-ray now. Oh, it's one of the most interesting movies of all time that had Nemo, Adventures in Slumberland, would have like the main antagonist and just repeat his line saying whoopee multiple times, which is like almost the main problem that the main character is a young kid and all, but it does have its minor problems here and there. That the animation looks good, but at times it drags on a little too long. I kind of fast forward in most parts. And if I want to watch an entire movie that drags on a little too long, I would be watching the original tape of the movie. It does have like its standable moments. It does have some good quality animation, beautiful looking backgrounds, and voice acting and all that stuff. But it does have like few problems of it being a little too long. It seemed to, there I go again with the word little. Really gotta stop saying that. I find the movie a little bit almost too long at most parts. So if you wanna watch it,
Okay.
if you wanna watch the movie at probably watch the short and version of it first, and then watch like the whole 100 minutes of the movie being dragged on as long as it seems to be. It becomes like a total drag watching the whole entire movie. What I'm trying to say is this movie became a little bit have its most memorable cast in it. It's kind of good. It's slightly okay. It does have like a female crown whose voice by I can't think of her name, but she was here it is. Nancy Cartwright, but you best known her as the voice of Bart Simpson from The Simpsons. It has some other voice actors in it. There's like Tris McNeil with playing the elevator creature. It had some other interesting voice casters. June Foray as the librarian. It had some other great cast of members in it. It has Michael Grandpa, which I don't know who that is. It's a great burglar as Master. It does have some interesting people in it, but it does have to drag on a little too long. Like it was all a dream cliche, but still he's still dreaming in another dream. It kind of makes no sense. It just don't add up that Nemo is still dreaming another dream and he goes back home. Well, multiple times that goes on a little too long. It just drags the movie on way too long, and you just are thinking, when is it gonna be over with? Sure, it has some cool parts. Sure, he uses the staff at the fight the nightmare creatures. I seen the word pajama, which is a strange words to make all the monsters go away. Is like the word, put the word pajama because that's where he wears for almost part of the movie, and then put some fancy clothes on. So technically, I was not prepared to talk about Little Nemo Adventures of Slumberland. The opening was a little bit tense for a kids movie. They were gonna re-release this. It's in the future of rebooting it, which is good to know that they are finally gonna make that happen. And on the Switch and everything else. So technically, Little Nemo has not been forgotten since then, that most players, whenever playing the video games off them.
This is Jesse from Bring Me Your...
I did talk about the NES game before a long time ago, so I might have to revisit playing the game again and re-talk about it. Most likely the arcade. And I'll tell you what, these ones are pretty hard levels. And the game is based on the movie. Did pretty well. Made it. What I'm trying to say is, if you love Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland, it might be worth watching or not. It just depends if you are in the mood to watch something kind of scary in most parts. It was created by English American people and Japanese people that done the movie eons ago. So, in other words, it was made back in 1989 during its release time. So they kind of had like difficult time in making other movies. It's popular back then. It says on here on Wikipedia, even a development from American comic strip, Little Nemo was animated by Japanese company Tokyo Movie Snarja. It says right here, let me go all the way down on the phone. It says right here they did Detective Conan and series. All the way down to 64 from the beginning. Yomutora, 1976 to 1993. And let's see. It does have this company logo on it, Tokyo Movie Shara Code Ltd. Started in June 76, 49 years ago. Defined it November 1st, 1995. In the film. Second. And prices. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. History. Blah, 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 blah. See references. Yeah, screw it. There's a lot to say about Wikipedia on here. So, I don't want to blab your ear off. So, in other words, it was released in different timelines. That the pilot was made first in 1984. before they actually released the movie during that timeline where Disney had its difficult time with being owned by pretty much everything. So, yeah, I don't got much else to say. The event, Little Nemo Adventures in Slumber had its difficult time being and remember to most people that watched it back in the day and easily forgotten by then. And it was based off the book during the timeline. And its Japan was release was in July 15th, 1989. And spent all the budget money, $3 billion. There's in the East is $3 million. And box office is $11.4 million. And this one says $0.9 billion. Just the entire movie's budget. Cut off a few things, being almost half atrociously difficult for them to have many people to make this movie possible. However, it was directed by Hayao Miyazaki himself, would have been greater back then. So during that timeline, they rated Kiki's Delivery Service in 1989, exactly the same year as the movie that I probably development talking about. And it says right here its average score is 5.8 out of 10. And it does say a profound dream come true. So, other words, it had its timelines, it had its moments. And the other one says at the bottom, it's another VHS released by Marmalade Home Video Inc. was in March 2nd, 1993. It says right here on the Blu-ray release was in June 17th, 2009. And the released September 22nd, 11th, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm done talking about it. In other words, you have to know how Little Nemo Adventures of Slumberland's history goes. There's like too much history about it. So, I'll just cut to the chase. You have to see the entire movie for yourself. Oh, sorry, I had to talk about the whole thing for like already 29 minutes in, so thank you all for watching for my long review of me talking about Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland. So you have to watch the whole 100 minutes of the entire movie. I hope you can handle watching the whole movie without falling asleep right through it. Thank you all for watching.